The most disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. The most neglected person in America is the black woman. And as Muslims, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us to respect our women and to protect our women. Then the only time a Muslim really gets real violent is when someone goes to molest his woman. We will kill you for our woman. I'm making it plain, yes. We will kill you for our woman. We believe that if the white man will do whatever is necessary to see that his woman gets respect and protection, then you and I will never be recognized as men until we stand up like men and place the same penalty over the head of anyone who puts his filthy hands out to put in the direction of our women. As it was mentioned in the last rally, the only provider many of our children know is the white welfare agent or the white social worker. And because of this, many of our children mistake the white welfare agent or the white social worker as their father. And sometimes they're right. You see all these little half-white babies running around in the community. They're not that way because you and I want them to be that way. The white man rapes and ravishes and takes advantage of our women. He'll take your little sister. Yes, he will. Your little baby sister is the potential bait for every white man in house. Your little daughter, your mother, your wife. Ask them sometimes. Every time they walk past the white man, he hits on them. He thinks that they're animals that he can abuse at will. This is where you get all these little half-white babies running around the street. None of them know who their daddy is. And all of them think that the white man is their daddy. And as I said, most of them are right. And if you and I, if we don't wake up and keep that white man away from our women, our race will really be destroyed. Keep that white man's claws off our women. Make him know that's the best way. Yes. I never would stand up to an audience as large as this and fail to warn you of the importance of protecting your own woman. You can't go in a white neighborhood and get a white woman. You can't get the white man's daughter in his neighborhood. You can't get his wife or his mother or his sister in his neighborhood. Then why should you let him walk around here in your neighborhood with your wife and your mother and your daughter and your sister? If you do it to him, he'll bust your head. And what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Remember that. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Do you understand what I'm saying? What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Let him know that the price he'll have to pay when he pats your woman is either the loss of his hand or the loss of his arm or the loss of his head. And if you go to jail for taking his head, you went to jail for a good cause. You can go to prison and say, I came here because I defended our black women from the filthy paws of that blue-eyed white man. Yes, I'm saying it and I mean it. You can go in hotels around here and find these white men laid up there with black women. Why, you should snatch off their head. I mean, snatch off their head. You and I will never be respected until we get some respect for this black woman. Make her straighten up and then straighten out that white man. And there's nothing wrong with that. No, what I'm telling you is not wrong. I'm telling you what is right. If he respects his women, then let's respect ours. And if he'll hang you for molesting his woman, you got your right to hang him for molesting your woman. Here in the state of New York, they have a state institution, penal institution for women. 70% of the women in the state prison institution, black women, 70% of the women in that prison 4 years old. Why, good God, man, what's happening to your woman? They're making her a prostitute. They're making her a drug addict. They're making her a lesbian. They're making her a harlot. They're making her a harlot because you and I won't stand up and be men. A man, when you're a man, you're not afraid to go to jail. When you're a man, you're not afraid to give your life. And when you're a man, you're not afraid to take someone else's life. You believe in a fair exchange. The overcrowded homes of our community force us to live under some of the worst sanitary conditions imaginable. It becomes almost impossible here in Harlem to practice the rules of good hygiene. Therefore, tuberculosis, TB, syphilis, gonorrhea, and other destructive social diseases are destroying the health and the moral fiber of our community. Our people here in Harlem are trapped in a vicious cycle of ignorance, poverty, disease, sickness, and death. And there seems no way out. There seems to be no way of escape. And the wealthy, educated, black bourgeoisie, the upper class Negroes, those who do escape, they never reach back and pull the rest of us out along with them. They move up in Westchester with their white friends, with their white liberals, or up in Stamford, Connecticut. The black masses remain trapped here in the slums. And because there seems no hope or no other way out, no other escape, we turn to wine as a way out. We turn to whiskey as a way out. We turn to reefers as a way out. And many of our people here in Harlem, and especially right here in this neighborhood, have turned to that dreadful needle, heroin, morphine, cocaine, opium, poison, nothing but poison. But you turn to it seeking an escape from the misery that the brutality and the deceit of the white man has trapped us in here in Harlem. That's the only way you know of escape.
What is good, my people? We are live back with another live broadcast. And I don't know how long I'm gonna be here. I don't plan on being here too long, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the link in the chat. And I'm gonna set the show up real quick. Now like the other day, my young brother Ryan Jordan, he came on here. He said a lot of good things, but he definitely sparked a topic that we need to something that we definitely need to talk about. And that is our relationships with ourselves, like the relationships within our communities, because we have to understand that is the only way out, right, for us to cooperate with each other, right? And it's not just men and women cooperating as brothers. We got to see each other as brothers. But we definitely have to what's going on, my brother Ron Silly?
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Not much. Yeah, let me set the show up real quick, because I don't plan on being on here too long. But what you brought up the other day, as far as like how you talk about holding particularly black women accountable. Now it could get blown out into a whole nother thing. And you say you got content where you talk about black women. Now, I'm saying that is something that we definitely need to do, but at the same time, we need to hold ourselves accountable too. And like you said, I'm not talking about you because, like I said last time, you need to stay in your lane and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, like, we definitely have to be careful about how we talk about our women, kind of throwing them under the bus. They're a reflection of ourselves. And I definitely wanted more people to come on and piece the time to work. But matter of fact, my brother, you can go ahead and speak your piece about it if you got anything you wanted to say about it.
No. Yeah, I mean, and you know how I'm always deep in thinking deep, brother, like I say, I'm not coming from a hateful place or nothing like that. And we do need to hold ourselves accountable. Something I was thinking about as you was playing Brother Malcolm's speech, is that what you were saying back then is so relevant today, and things have actually gotten worse. Where he's talking about how they're making the black woman a prostitute, a whore, and all this type of shit. It's like that's what black men is doing right now. You know what I'm saying? That's what a lot of these Negroes out here is doing. In particular celebrities and the street dudes and stuff, even in my city, throwing money on. Well, I don't even know if I'd say, yeah, dudes in my city too. Throwing money on women and objectifying them, and I'm against all of that, man. I'm against all of that, and it's pretty sad though, because there's some pro-black people I know who do that. You know what I'm saying? Like the only times they show love to black women is showing them oiled up, half naked, and that's something I've been calling out for years. Literally years. I haven't. I won't lie. I used to be the type to do that. You know what I'm saying? Back when I was more stupid and low vibrational. But as I started really thinking deep about stuff, I'm thinking like, why am I treating this woman like she's an object? You know what I'm saying? Why am I not acting like this somebody's daughter out here? You know what I'm saying? So it came to a point where I realized, you know what, this ain't what I'm gonna represent or promote, and I'm gonna be heavy on brothers about doing that stuff too. Now, well, a lot of them will do, they will promote the non-black women, you know what I'm saying, but they do be promoting the black women as homosexuals and prostitutes and all that too. So we definitely need to hold ourselves accountable, and I'm gonna be on brother's ass about that shit. Pause until the day I die. Because I'm just very much against this degeneracy in our community that we're making so normal. It's like you can barely go anywhere without seeing some sexual images, and something that I was seeing on Dr. Mayant's interview with Shahrazad Ali, what they was talking about was they never thought that they'd see black women in their 30s, even some maybe early 40s, running around twerking all over the place. Now, I'm someone who used to think that twerking shit was cool, but eventually got played out. It's like, damn, that's all that our women can do, man. Is like throw they ass everywhere. I'm tired of it. You know what I'm saying? But the people who's helping hold us back isn't just those women themselves who's twerking everywhere and throwing it's the niggas who's promoting that, still to this day. And like I said, it's gotten pretty out of hand, bro. Like they didn't, even the most lyrical people, bro, even the most lyrical rappers, this is why I be going in on these black celebrities, even the ones who got bars, like don't just talk about shooting and killing people, like they even be doing it, you know what I'm saying? So I hold them accountable for doing that to the sisters, you know what I'm saying, promoting them that way. And yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I feel what you're saying, my brother. And Bakari said he try to be here in like 15 minutes. But firstly, before I even say anything, like let me just ask you, like, as a young brother, right? Out here, like, what makes you even like, how could I ask this? Like your views on like what makes you feel like that you have to hold like black women accountable, just as a young brother out here these days. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, man. It's just one of the things, I guess I make my purpose, you know what I'm saying? Like while being here, because if honestly, if I had my own choice to do things, I wouldn't even I wouldn't even have been born, bro. Honestly, because I think this, like, are there some cool things in life? Yeah, but like I overall feel this reality we're living in is shitty. You know what I'm saying? So I decided to make one of the things I live for is to help other people, and since I obviously look like a black man and stuff, and people see me as a black man, and I'm into rap music and all that, it's like, why don't I genuinely help out the group of people who I see all the time? You know what I'm saying? And the community that by default I'm gonna be associated with. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, I can talk about how I'm mixed with this and that, but like back in the day, like when I was getting arrested and pulled over, like they wouldn't put down I'm mixed on that police report or nothing like that. They would put me as black. You know what I'm saying?
But
Um
would you call yourself black?
I mean, like phenotypically and socially, yeah, but like technically, and there's a thing for a lot of people who are thrown under this black banner, because there's a whole, this can go super deep, man. I could go super deep with this type of stuff.
No, go ahead, go
Yeah,
ahead. I'm
yeah.
saying, like, like if you like just like what you identify, like if you black, like if I was to ask you like what you really would say, like, it ain't gotta be like socially, just for you, like
I mean, like, technically, like, I classify myself as a multiracial person because I'm not just black. I have some European DNA, and here's the thing that a lot of people will do, including pro-black people, when they hear me say this type of shit, they'll be like, "You're a coon. You just don't want to acknowledge your blackness." And it's nothing like that. It's just a matter of fact. Like, I don't get how I, as a person with part white ancestry, like a white great grandfather, can act like I'm the same as a full blooded African. That doesn't make any sense. And to go even deeper, I don't get how people can act like a lot of these quote unquote black leaders are the same as full blooded Africans when they aren't. And it often the time shows in their phenotype. Now, it doesn't always. I mean, people like what's, I'm trying to think of that one bitch's name, that one celebrity chick, man. Oh, I have one of her movies. Well, it's not one of her movies, but oh, I know the bitch's name. Kerry Washington. Like Kerry Washington, she got part white ancestry, but most people think she's fully black, when she's not. Tyler the Creator, his grandmother or grand one of his grandparents is white. I mean, his mom is a mulatto, but he looks like a full-blooded African. You know what I'm saying? So there are situations like that where you genuinely can't tell. Like, it's really impossible. Ida B. Wells is another one. Countless others. Maya Angelou, but then there's some like Malcolm X, Huey P. Newton, and Rosa Parks, where you can clearly see that they aren't just African, like they have European ancestry and all that. And it's not to knock them for what they did or anything, but when it comes to race and genetics, I'm just a person who's about matter of fact. A lot of people in general think emotionally. Like people, when I say shit like I have part white ancestry or Malcolm X had white ancestry, Huey P. Newton had white ancestry. Well, most people be like, "You a coon," or "They grandmama was raped. They grandmama was raped." Duh, duh, duh. And I'm like, okay, their grandmother was raped. Yeah, that's what gave birth to they mixed parent. But how does that stop their mixed parent from being mixed and the fact that they're a quarter white? You know what I'm saying? Because it's almost like when black people say this, like, "Oh, their grandmother was raped." The It's like they're taking what people like me, when I say this, they're taking at me as saying fuck Malcolm X or fuck Huey P. Newton. When it's not like I'm insulting the person. I'm just saying they're not full blooded African. And the problem with most of us, you know, I'll say at least the pro black people, you know what I'm saying? Well, even some of the hood coons, because I was on one of these Chicago dudes' platforms. He was an interview dude. The whole time I was telling the people I was multiracial, and they were laughing at me. You know what I'm saying? People in the comments was saying I'm Uncle Ruckus, I'm Clayton Bigsby, and all that. And I was just like, look, y'all don't even know me, man. And I'm just speaking as a matter of fact. Like phenotype doesn't always, like, you know what I'm saying, determine like what someone is fully or not fully. You know what I'm saying? But there's something I've seen with people for a long time. Um, with black people, when you say things like words like multiracial, or even tell the truth about your lineage, they just laugh at you and think you're tripping. Like, what, nigga? You're not mixed. You too fucking dark. Shut up, nigga. And it's just like, bitch, what the fuck you talking about? How you even know that? But it's part of social engineering, man. And one thing about my dad's not pro-black or anything. He doesn't really care about none of that stuff. He's a type like, I go to work, I vote, I took the shot.
Hold
That's
on. So your like your dad is like mulatto, or is he like black?
he's what Malcolm X and Huey P. Newton are. It's
Oh,
called a griff.
okay.
GRIFFE, and that's a person who has 3/4 black ancestry and a quarter white ancestry. So Huey P. Newton would be in that. You know what I'm saying? Tyler the Creator would be in that. Countless other people. So that's what he is. You know what I'm saying? And one thing I will give him credit for is, and he's not, I won't lie, like, and this isn't to shun my father. He's not right about a lot of history. Like, he's a history major, but he's wrong about a lot of stuff. Just it's just a fact, man. It's just a fact. Like, when it comes to religion, the origins of that, and different things like the Moors. Something he's been trying to tell me is that the Moors were inbreeding, and I looked that up. I never found evidence of that. I don't know where he got it from. I don't know what the teachers were teaching him, but that's false. You know what I'm saying? But something he is right about is genetics. Like, how you go out into the world and know what someone is fully. You know what I'm saying? Know if someone's fully black, or like how white someone is. Like, and with him, this is where I disagree, is him saying like there's no such thing as race because it was made by a white man. The matter of fact is that, okay, it's a quote unquote social construct, you know what I'm saying? But it's a social construct in the way that many things are social constructs. That doesn't mean that the shit isn't real. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
when it comes to him talking about this, I get what he's saying. Like, he's right in the sense, like, you can't always know what someone is fully. And he says the only thing that exists is ethnicity, which isn't true. You know what I'm saying? Because you can have a full-blooded African who's Jamaican, a full-blooded African who's Haitian. They're both Africans, which is the race, and their ethnicities are Haitian and Jamaican. So no, ethnicity isn't the only thing that exists. So he's right as far as not always knowing what somebody is, and like that. But where I disagree is him saying there's no such thing truly as a white man or a black man, because we can see, looking at history, there is such thing as a European, there is such thing as an African. Like, when you look at the behavior of Africans prior to colonialism, um and I learned this from this Haitian brother named Brother Hassan. uh if the word didn't exist, that means the action didn't exist. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to pedophilia and lesbianism and a bunch of shit that the Europeans was doing back in the day, like, no ethnic group of Africans was doing that, bro. Like, the people who are known as Nigerians now weren't doing it. The people who are known as Ethiopians, Eritreans, Somalians now wasn't doing it. And at the end of the day, their genetics, along with the Khoisan people, like those light skinned Africans, in South Africa, who look Asian or whatever, like, because that's what people say ascribe them. Um, they are different ethnicities. They clearly have distinct features, but they're all part of the human race. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're all full blood human. They're not mixed with Neanderthal and canine DNA, ape DNA, none of that shit that non-blacks are mixed with, like Europeans, Asians. So race is very real. You know what I'm saying? So when I break down my genetics and the truth of genetics, it's not coming from a hateful place. I'm just someone who's a realist. You know what I'm saying? So, and this what separates me from a lot of people, man, because a lot of people can't think um logically. Most people think with emotion. When I say things like, all right, we should stop worshiping some of these celebrity niggas, because it's like, all right, we supposed to be against white supremacy, but some of y'all worshiping these dudes who's sexualizing our women and promoting killing motherfuckers, but just because they were a black person, you love them, and the nigga will be like, oh, you just hating, bro. Come on. They not, no one is perfect. Why you hating? And it's just like, okay, I get that no one's perfect, but the things that this person is doing to the community is destructive and it's destroying the minds of children. So people will hear that and block you, you know what I'm saying, or unfollow you, So that's a major part of our people, man. Why well, I won't even say our people, but like, I guess people are a part of the ethnicities and race we're a part of, is that folks think off emotion first. Like, even when it comes to other groups, when I talk about Europeans not being fully human, because we already know black folk will jump out the gates if you're saying not fully human. What, nigga? You say you hate white people. It's like, nah, nigga, I'm not saying I hate white people. It's like, this is just a fact. They're part Neanderthal. But all groups of people, bro, no matter who you run into, like, there'll at least be one member of their group calling you a racist because you stated the fact about science. You know what I'm saying? You talk about how someone uh they grow tails and
Uh,
all. Yeah,
yeah, I don't mean to cut you off because I don't want you to get too deep. And then my
yeah.
brother Bakari came on here, and let me ask you this real quick because I'm gonna kind of stir it back to like what we was talking about.
My bad.
Oh yeah, you all right? Because like I agree with you. Race, like me and Bakari had this show a long time ago about race being a real thing. Yeah, as a social construct, the part about the how society is set up, but there are biological differences that you can't ignore. So yeah, that is definitely real. But like as far as what you were saying, like because you said that you would classify yourself as like multiracial, like so like would you like kind of hold like only black women accountable or like multi races,
Um,
but
that's actually a wonderful question. I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess I would hold, multiracial women accountable too, women of my lineage. Very less so like, people who are directly biracial though. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I honestly expect someone with a white person, let alone a white mother, to identify more with white people than anything. You know what I'm saying? And be on the white side of things. So, it honestly depends on, man, but definitely like, beyond biracial, like multiracial, yeah. But directly biracial people, it all depends on what upbringing they come from. Like I have a couple of directly biracial homies. It's one who's from, Connecticut, who's my music producer. Then and he's a FOI or whatever, or he's affiliated with the Nation of Islam. Then there's another one who's from Louisiana. You know what I'm saying? He's not affiliated with no religions. Nah, he doesn't believe in that. Um, but both of them are the product of the same thing, that, and you know how cavemen do, man. They come through the hood, they smash a black woman, have a kid. That's how both of my peoples came into existence, so they grew up in a situation where they had basically no connection, like barely a connection to the white side, if none at all. And they're raised by their black mothers. So it's the reverse of the upbringing of a person who's typically raised by their white mother and the black father is out the picture. The person with the white mother and the black father who dips, they're going to think more like a white person. Whereas a biracial person who comes up with a black mother, they're gonna think more like a black person, especially if they're in the hood. And from what I know, both of my partners is from the hood. You know what I'm saying? So but other than that, like someone like Colin Kaepernick, who's biracial, like a white mom, full blown everything, grew up around a bunch of white people. I honestly don't expect them to care about racial issues, bro. I just don't, because they were put into a situation where they're raised by Europeans, cultivated by Europeans, and I honestly feel like as soon as it hits maybe teenage years and beyond that, bro, it's like I don't know if there's too much I can do to help them, because they're in like I said, they're in a situation where they haven't had much black folks, to take after, and the only time that someone with a white mother and a black person usually messes with black people, it rarely goes beyond hip hop. You know, it rarely goes beyond like rap music and saying the N word. You know, these dudes out here with a black father and a white mother, the blackest things is the hip hop thing, the N word thing, and then being a criminal. You know what I'm saying? Uh, but beyond that, I rarely know of too many that have just become woke. Like, I'm pro black. It's like, nah, man, I don't know of that. Like, maybe the only situation where that happens is if like there was one woman, she's
Hey,
an
hey,
yeah.
no, yeah, not to cut you off because like I want Bakari to go ahead and go. You can finish what you were saying, then Bakari, you could take over after that.
Facts.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
do you think?
Facts. Yeah. So to wrap up what I was saying, there's a situation with that main character from the show Dear White People. The main actress in that, her dad smashed this white dude's boo thing in the military. That's how she came into existence. And I don't know how this happened, but she ended up getting adopted by some black folks and was raised by them. You know, so that's maybe the closest time to where one of them may grow up to be pro black. But you know, typically like a mulatto raised by white people, trying to get them to see, you know, about racism and injustice, it's almost impossible. But so that's where I kind of stand with that.
All right, it's on me now. Yo, is it on me now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Bakari, it's on you, my brother. What do you think?
Uh, Peace, forecast and Ryan Silly and to the people in the chat listening. Uh, Ryan Sealy, I'm gonna tell you why I disagree with you at and where you are wrong. Right? I don't think you or no one else have the right to tell someone they should claim they're a rapist. So Malcolm X's mother actually hated white folks because her mother was raped by a white man, and that's how she got white in her. So to tell now, you can say you're multiracial if you want, that's on you. But to tell someone else that they should claim to be multiracial, you're not just black because of something that came out of rape. I don't agree with that at all. I think that crazy. I should claim my rapist, right? I've never seen nobody in my family but black people. We are the only people in the world. Watch this. Do you ever hear any white people come tell you that they're multiracial because of what happened in the past? Just yes or no?
Like I said, brother,
No,
it's
I'm
not
just saying yes or no. Yes or no.
not that I know of.
Okay, I know you don't. Black people, the only people in the world that want to claim somebody else. People that don't even like them really.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it happened during slavery, we should still claim it. No, we shouldn't. Even though they were raped, we should claim it. No. And I'm gonna tell you something, right? Like me, I am absolutely against the N word, right?
Yeah.
So for people that's not black, why do you use the N word? Now I tell black people don't use it,
Right.
but I give them a little pass, right? Even when they talk to me, I say just don't use it when you talk to me. But people who's not black, it become problem when you calling other black people the N word.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. So you pass for black and you use the N word. You pass for black, you do black stuff, but you're gonna let everybody know whatever happened in the past, you're not just black, you're multiracial. I see a problem with that. Actually, I see someone having the ability to use black people because I'm not the same as y'all, because I'm
Mm-hmm.
multiracial, but I'm gonna use your culture, I'm gonna use your slang, I'm gonna rap, I'm gonna put the dreads, I'm gonna put the locks in my head, everything that black people do, even though I'm not black, I'm gonna use it. So let me ask you a question. What makes you any different than the white people that use black folks?
Well, I go off of science, brother, and this is the type of emotional thinking that I'm talking about. You're talking about claiming a rapist, and it's not about emotionally like, oh, I love the crack in me or none of that, because I honestly hate the white in me. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, bro, if I had a chance to not be born, I just would not exist at all. You know what I'm saying? Because I hate that I have white ancestry in me. And I understand that about Malcolm X's mother, but I just understand that biology is a matter of fact. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be really gritty with this, man. I'm gonna be really gritty with this because let's say I had a time machine, right? And I went back to meet one of the cave bitches in my lineage, and I let her fuck me. Would that still would that not be incest? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm quote unquote black, or would that still be incest, brother? Like this is the type of stuff that I'm talking about. I'm talking about race from a scientific point. I'm not talking about whether a person should love the white in them or love the black in them. I'm talking about matter of fact. And the problem is with most black folks, when you're talking about your lineage and you're talking about facts, people want to talk about, oh, that nigga love the white in him. Or he want to
See,
be
there you
white.
hey, I'm gonna see you ain't black, so we gonna have to stop with the N word. But I'm just saying, but you see the problem that can cause. I'm not even upset, but I'm just saying, do you see the problem that that can cause? But see, now you want to say, because you're using science, so you say,
Yeah.
you don't really have the right to tell someone that they should claim they're rapists.
It's not about claiming, brother.
Yes, yes,
It's
but
just
you know
it's
what? But you
scientific fact.
wait, because you say it's not, but you are absolutely saying they should claim them by saying you're multiracial.
I
Those
mean,
people,
genetics
in
is a matter of fact, brother. And if you're a person who's predominantly black, but especially someone like my father, you know what I'm saying, you have 25% European DNA, that's something that you have to acknowledge, brother,
no, you
especially
don't.
those,
Okay, so what? Okay, majority rule. So if you got 25% European DNA and you 75% African, why should I say I have to acknowledge some European? I have never met no European or no Native American or nothing. Never in my life.
Mhm.
They're talking about they are my family because they're not going to claim you, but you're
Right.
reaching to them. So the question that I asked that you didn't answer, I said, what make you different than any other white person that's using black culture?
They don't have anything black in them. That's what makes me different. I actually have black DNA. Crackers don't have
But
black
you're
DNA.
not black though.
I have
That's
black,
what you said.
bro.
I'm
Here's
just saying, but didn't you say you're not black?
here's the thing, brother. Here's the thing,
I'm
brother.
saying, yes, did you say you're not black?
I mean, I'm multiracial, so I guess in
So
that's what I'm
multiracial,
talking about.
right?
Yeah.
So now, once again, it's back to you're passing. Netflix just did a movie about it. I didn't watch it, but so now you're doing what the light skinned black people used to do back in the day. They passed as white. You're passing as black. You know you're
Mm,
not because you're multiracial. But I'm going to use all black culture. I'm going to even call black people the N word. I'm going to put locks in my head. I'm going to rap. I'm going to do everything those N words do so I can pass. But I'm not going to ever say I'm black because I'm multiracial. So I'm going to ask again. So I ain't gonna even say to white people, right?
mm.
What's the difference in you passing as black or the light-skinned black people, the blue vein society and all them? What's the difference in you passing as black and them trying to pass as white? What's the difference?
Well, here's the thing. Like, I honestly feel in my nature as someone who's predominantly black, like I'm typically gonna cling to black things. You know, that's why I honestly don't have a problem with people who's even directly mixed, you know, saying the N-word. And especially like my homeboys who both had a situation where, you know, the caveman came through, smashed a black mother and had them or whatever, you know what I'm saying? They grew up in the black upbringing. So brother, you can't expect that people who grow up around a bunch of black people, you know what I'm saying, that they aren't gonna be taking on the people's attributes. You know what I'm saying? And here's what I'll actually be honest, man. And this is why I don't like when black down in the end or you know, even letting them into our circles, man. I don't like that shit because just by nature, if you hang around a certain group of people, you're gonna take on that person's attributes. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew one white boy I was friends with back in kindergarten. He was one of the nicest white boys ever. Like, hey Ryan, what's going on, man? What's happening? He started hanging around some black folks. All of a sudden, this motherfucker shoes looking nice. He got his hat on backwards. He's like, yo, dog. You know what I'm saying? So that's something I think is
Yeah, but you know what? You said some stuff that made a little sense, right? But what I'm gonna say is you didn't answer the question. So we ain't gonna go
mm,
back to that question because you ain't answered the question, right?
mm,
So uh I'm gonna ask this then, right? So since
mm,
you multiracial
mm.
and you say black women need to be held accountable.
Hey, Bakari, hold on before you even go there, because I want that to be a whole different thing. I want blue, because like that's gonna be because that was supposed to be the original topic, but
Yeah.
I want to let blue come on too. But like let me ask you this real quick, like do you like Ryan said? Do you think like we should make rules like there should be like a black parent, like you need two black parents, right? So like we should start developing rules. Do you think that black people should start doing that?
I mean, people have been doing that for the longest, you know what I'm saying? For actually a couple of years now. I was actually shocked to find out I wasn't the only person who had this multiracial concept. There were other, you know what I'm saying, people, mainly Africans, and Pan-Africanists who were talking about if you don't have two black parents, you're just not black. You know what I'm saying? And some people are inevitably gonna be mad about it. People who are fans of folks like Malcolm X and Huey P. Newton and who are very emotional, they're gonna be hurt about that. But I actually love what they're doing and I support what they're doing. I'm actually cool with some people offline who have the two black parent rule. So I'm in full support of that, and I actually want more of that. And to take it a step further, I've had some people reject me because of my lineage. Like they found out I had a white great grandparent, and they're just like, "Nigga, we don't want to fuck with you," And that's literally what they was like. Like we don't want nothing to do with you, And as hurtful to a certain degree as that may make me feel, they have every right to do that. You know what I'm saying? And how can I not respect their decision? At the end of the day, no one has to mess with me, yo. Like no one has to like me. No one has to me. And saying I fully respect what those people do, and I honestly feel like there should be more minds like that. People like who are like, yeah, like we're gonna set schools, we're gonna set some boundaries. No matter how people feel, you know. So I can fully respect that.
All
Okay,
right,
let me say
yeah,
this right quick before you pass it. I'm
okay,
just gonna say this. I ain't asking no question.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, man. You have taken a lot of shots since I've been listening at people that consider themselves as people that is pro-black pan-African. I'm just saying, because I am pro-black pan-African, and you have everything you have said about pro-black pan-African has been negative. That's all I wanted to say.
Oh yeah, and Bakari, I'm gonna let you go ahead like after Blue speak, and then you go ahead with the question you was about to ask about, because that was supposed to be the topic anyway. So, but yeah, Blue, you can go ahead.
All right, cool. Hey y'all. Hey, Post, Kari, and Ryan. Nice to finally get on with you, and hey to everyone in the chat. And I just tuned in and was listening to y'all, and it was funny to me because it's like I agree with both of y'all, for real, but from a different perspective, a different outlook on it. So I kind of want to start with this, right? If either one of us walk out the door, do you think any one of us is going to be treated differently because we got 5% white, 10% white? The color of your skin is how you're looked at. No one is doing a search to find that information out. Now, yes, it's great and beneficial to know like what your DNA makeup is, what your history is, so you know that for your personal benefit, to know about the history of your family. But to go out and defend the percentage of another race that you have in you, I don't feel like that is beneficial in any sort of way. If it's a conversation like we're having, just to understand how someone else views something, okay. But if there's no benefits, you know what I mean, to going in the world and saying that, at zero benefit, because on that paper, what box you got to check? You got to check that you're black. There's no box to say I'm this percent this, I'm this percent that, I'm this percent that. So that's what I want to really point out. And the difference in the way y'all both see it is really the young blood versus old blood.
Yeah,
And I feel like we've been watered down so much to be so understanding to other people, where it's like, you know at the end of the day, nobody's treating us different.
I feel what you're saying.
um
So,
um
I mean
Excuse me.
to kind of
What
wanted to
okay, I think the phone's cutting out. You said something.
mean to cut you off, but it's not about defending white people because I don't give a fuck about white people's issues at all. Like even when I was talking to Forecast the other day, when there was that story of that African dude raping the woman on the train, I said full blown like non-black bitches issues aren't my issues like that. And when I say non-black, I mean really cave bitches, like white bitches, like Arab hoes, like Latina hoes, all that. I have a hard time feeling sorry they're going to. Um, and so when that story came out, I saw that woman he raped her, but the image I kept seeing, saw it was an Asian. My thought was like, oh, rape this Asian bitch. It's not. She has to hold her own nuts. You know what I'm saying? Like Shorty has to hold her own nuts. So it's not about defending anything. I'm just about telling like when it comes to these brothers killing these transgender women, right? Quote unquote women. They want to be like straight heterosexual males. We want to be disclosed information that you were born a woman. You know what I'm saying? And if we find out you born a man, and I don't know how these brothers get tricked into this, but they kill these them. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of liken it to that. I'm just someone who's about the truth of genetics, and I don't want to lie to people. You know what I'm saying? Like if someone asks
Yeah.
me if I'm fully African, and I'm gonna let you speak in a second, I'm not gonna lie and tell them a fucking lie because it would be a lie to act like I'm the same genetically as a person from Nigeria, a person who's Andamanese, North Sentinelese, and all that. That would be a lie. I'm gonna tell people straight up, no matter how they feel, this is my life. Like you can take that how you want, but I'm just speaking facts, and I'll let you speak now, sister.
Okay. um yeah, I wasn't really pointing out about defending any other race. I'm just pointing out the fact of the benefits behind having that conversation, because like I said, when on black and white, when you got to check off what race you are, there's only several boxes. There's no percentage boxes. And then when you walk out the door, we're all treated the same. Having a dark toned skin complexion, we all treated the same. And that's what I'm really just pointing out. um, and then also, you can't go from you know uh, white to black. you know
Mm-mm.
it would take so many generations to produce that person with those black features. And that's why you have the white people you have today. you know but black You cannot take a black person and go with any other race. Our um, genetics is going to be dominant. You know what I mean?
Nah. I gotta
Oh,
disagree there. Because of situations like with Muhammad Ali's grandchildren, and he was another multiracial person, you know what I'm saying? But his kids procreated with some cavemen, and now his grandkids looks like some cavemen.
well,
And from
no, this is true. This is
yeah,
true. This is true, because I
yeah,
have family members that's like that too, where it skips a generation. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But yeah, at the end, I'm just saying, the race is dominant, and I feel, because I'm not even gonna say I believe, I don't really stick to the facts 100% that we have access to, because history is nothing but another man's story. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And history has been twisted so many different times. I don't fully rely on history. You know, I go with what I feel from what I do know. And
Mhm.
I feel like it did start out with it being colored people. And
Mhm.
eventually, as they spread out and based on the weather conditions, it does make different features about a person change. And
Mhm.
I pointed out before about this. It's a show that comes on. They're up to the third season, but it's called The Cosmos. It's on Hulu, but it's a great breakdown of the universe and how it would have started, and the fact that they can actually see back in time with this telescope that they got in space. It's amazing.
Mhm.
The Colin Kaepernick show that's on, I think he gives a really good um, uh, breakdown of his life and how he's seen it being adopted by two white people, a white woman and a white man, because that's not that those weren't his parents. He was
Mhm.
adopted at 5 weeks, but his senses stuck to what they were from what he was mixed with, which
Yeah.
was black. So he couldn't help that he was attracted to certain things. Like his first girlfriend, his parents didn't want her to be black. They wanted him to forget about it. They wanted him to date a white girl, which in most households like that, where you got two white people and they've either adopted a black person or somehow they have gotten a black person, that's how they're trying to, grow them up and get them in the mindset, like you want to like this, you want to be like that. And I feel like a whole new race has been created, honestly,
Mhm.
and it is the mixed race.
Yeah.
They are the new, and like you said, when you mentioned a couple of years ago, you found out how people are setting rules with their views on race. They are a whole nother race, and for the most part, it's they're gonna have that outlook of they're gonna be confused. They are a
Yeah.
confused race, but they are, I feel like, more so leaning towards the white view and perception of things,
Right.
because they see it gets them to where they want to be, and because they looked mixed, they're going to be treated differently than someone with a darker toned skin. And I've known this, personally growing up, being the darker sibling out of my other two siblings, and a sister, my sister for one, and seeing how she was treated, versus me in public, or dealing with some of the same people and them not knowing we were sisters, type of situation, in her being black, but being lighter skin.
Right.
People do tend to do those things, and it's messed up, that we kind of still don't see that, when it comes down to these cartoons, the doll babies that you get your kids. Like, everything should be an example of them, not another race. So you have to create that narrative for them,
Right.
for anyone and everyone that has kids. We shouldn't still be going into the same routines that has been going on. If you want to create a queen, or if you want to create a boss, you have to start while they are young. And the things you instill in them, those are the things they're going to result back to, with before anything.
Right. Yeah. I
But
mean,
yeah, that was my,
Yeah.
my little point on the race situation that I
Hey,
wanted to
yeah,
point out.
yeah, I appreciate it. Because I want to let Bakari go ahead and finish with, because I ain't mean to cut him off. So I want Bakari to finish what he was saying, because I know he probably got to go soon. So yeah, Bakari, go ahead, do your thing, and then hopefully y'all go into like the black woman thing too.
No, that's all I was saying. But since you passed it back to me, and let me ask you a question, Ryan Celia. Do you call white people crackers when you talk to them?
I mean, as
I'm
long
not
as
just.
they not being disrespectful, then
I
no.
said, do you? Okay, so but watch this. I said, black folks, me, don't like to be called N-word and don't even like that word, especially if the person ain't black. But you don't give black people that same respect, right?
No, actually, you know what?
Because I,
If a black person doesn't want to be called the N word, I'm not gonna use it. I've had black people tell me, please don't use that word. I never used it to them again.
Uh,
So that's how I'll be. But if they want to be, if they cool with that, if especially if they're urban, like if it's an urban black person,
wait,
brother,
wait, wait,
they're
wait, wait,
yeah.
wait, wait. Okay, you answer because you take the conversation and you be going. But that's all I want to do. But I'm just showing you what I meant when I said I asked you the difference between you and any other white person that using black culture who ain't black but gonna use black culture to make it. I don't care what your skin look like. I don't care about none of that. I don't care where you was raised. Now you're a young man. I'm not upset. But what I'm trying to teach you is right. You say you're not black. What I'm trying to do, and I'm being all honest, I'm trying to read everything out the black community that ain't black. That's just using that want to benefit from black culture in anything that is black though.
And I can respect that, but I'm not one of the people using people. You know what I'm saying? Like there's black folks I be doing things, offline and stuff, giving people money. Even when they scam me, because I had one of these Pan African Negroes, who I lent $30 to. I asked this dude for my money back, and he blocks me. You know what I'm saying? But I be taking care of women, my family. I be doing a lot for a community, so I don't have to worry about people talking about I'm scamming or I'm using people, because I know that's coming from someone who, first of all, they don't know me, and yeah, second of all, they don't know me. You know what I'm saying? And they don't know what I be doing for folks. So the whole idea, like about like folks saying, oh, they using this, like if you don't know me, then you what you're
Okay, let me. I'm gonna explain to you again what I mean. The way you speak, constantly calling black people the N word, and once again, you have spoke very disrespectful of Pan African. Everything about black is negative, but you ain't said nothing. You don't talk negative about whatever other race it is. Once again, you have spoke very negative about people that's pro black, people that's Pan African. Nothing positive to say. It could have just been somebody who scammed you, some Pan African Negro, everything. But we gonna get off that subject right there because I think the young man he's 20. I don't know how old he is. I think he early 20s. But I'm not upset. I'm just trying to learn you.
Yeah. Hey, and I'm because I want you to go in too, Bakari, before you go. Like I want like y'all to have a conversation that because I wanted you to stay on last time.
Okay.
And let me ask you though, real quick, Ryan Silly, because I remember you said you like agree with like Tommy Sotomayor, and this kind of leading into like the topic, and it's just a discussion, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody want everybody to be respectful and all that kind of stuff. But I ain't gotta say it to y'all, but like you say you like agree with like Tommy Sotomayor. Like what were some of the things you agree with him about?
I mean, well, about how and I wish I could go back on what Bakari was saying, about me hating Pan Africans a lot, because I
Yeah,
don't.
go ahead. You good? Go ahead.
I have Pan African friends, and I don't want to sound like them crackers or like, oh, I got a black friend. It's like, nah, I love Marcus Garvey. I love um uh Thomas Sankara, Idi Amin. I have I have t-shirts of a lot of these people in my closet, so I love them. But when it comes to this quote unquote negative things I say about Pan Africans, it was just a matter of fact. Like I had some of these people calling me stupid and saying I'm tripping and things like that, and who were just very disrespectful. Not saying all Pan Africans are like that, because I know that they aren't. I mean, for God's sake, one of my mentors, Brother Hassan, he's a Pan Africanist. I got one of his children's books for my siblings. I got two little sisters. I got that book for them, and I absolutely love that man. And I would take a bullet for that man. He's Pan African. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have a problem with Pan Africans. It's just the ones who are over emotional and very disrespectful is the ones that I've had problems with. Because I've had, and I'm gonna go into what you were asking me forecast about Tommy Sotomayor. But to wrap up, what you were saying, Brother Bakari, that's not. I don't generalize all Pan Africans or all people at all. I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's just happens to be the ones, most of the ones I've come across, and then there's a good amount of them I know out here who aren't over emotional, and who are chill, who can be my friend, who I can be cool with. So I don't have a problem with them. It's really just the ones who are like who would say things like, I hope you die, like I'm gonna kill you if I see you, or you a bitch. Those are the type of ones that I have problems with. But going to what Forecast was asking me about Tommy Sotomayor, it's just, and I don't agree with a lot of things that he says. You know what I'm saying? Like, in fact, like prior to really this year and last year, there was rarely anything I agreed with him upon. Because to me, it just came off to me like this was a brother who's in love with Europeans and just hates his people. But with his content lately, he's been getting more black. I don't know what triggered it, but he's been getting more black. Start like he went in on Stephen A. Smith, calling him a coon, saying he's white people's best friend. Um, and then what he does is he holds hood rats accountable. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all black women, why do you get to be praised for doing nothing? Like the rapper FBG Duck, um if y'all know who that is, he got killed in 2020, like in July. um People are praising his mother for really nothing, you know what I'm saying, other than the fact that she's a black woman, when this woman had a bunch of kids back to back in the 90s, was very unresponsible, you know what I'm saying, and that's what led to some of her kids growing up in the streets being killed, or even some situations where she accidentally killed some of her kids. She left one to die in a fire, you know what I'm saying. Then there was another where she rolled onto her in her sleep and killed her daughter. You know what I'm saying? So as far as him going in on black women, as far as them not taking accountability and wanting to be praised, you know what I'm saying, for basically doing nothing except giving birth, that's the stuff I agree with him upon. And then when it comes to pro blacks, he'll talk about how some of these pro blacks out here were threatening to kill you. You know what I'm saying? Like, do some of the same stuff I'm talking about, calling people fuck boys online, saying they go shoot their house up, do all this goofy shit. Like, I agree with him saying that stuff because it's real. I've had that shit happen to me. I've had some of these pro black people threaten to kill me, threaten to.
Okay, you can't let him go forever now, because I got to talk before I go to sleep.
Yeah.
Because
My
he's
my
very
bad. My bad,
disrespectful.
brother.
He's very disrespectful to people that's pro-black. He keep trying to act like he's not. His problem is he don't like black people. And anybody that ride with Thomas Sotomayor, they have mommy problems. Thomas Sotomayor, because first of all, you ain't even black, you're multiracial. So who gives you the right to hold a black woman accountable for anything? So then what you do, you want to call them hood rats. I don't know FBG Duck or FBG Duck moms, but one thing for sure, two things for certain. The third one is a fact, and they're all the same thing. She did not lay down by herself and have a baby. See, those are coward, weak. Thomas Sotomayor black, the other one who talking now multiracial, because they have a problem with themselves. They have a problem with the women in their lives, right? Because this is what I always ask people who feel they can just talk negative about black women, right? Like people in the barbershop got mad, just talking. So I ask them, is your mama black? Yep. Your sister, your aunties, every woman in your family black? Yep. So what make them any better? So now they're upset, right? Well, my family different. How I know? Because see, you can't sit and talk about my family. Then when I ask you a question about yours, now you're upset because they don't ever differentiate. I bet you I bet you they don't know nothing about FBD whatever, FBG Duck, whatever this rapper name is who got killed. They don't know nothing about him. Don't know nothing about his mom. But one thing they do know, they know she got kids, and he say she rolled over while she was asleep and had and killed the baby, right? So I wonder and talked about how many babies she had. So did she have them babies by herself? And just yes or no? Did she have them by herself? She did that herself?
Yeah, she fucked a bunch of niggas and
So she made babies by herself.
well, of course,
Yes, yes or no? Just yes or no? Yes or no?
Hold on, brother. Hold on, brother. Here's the
Yes
account.
or no?
Here's the accountability. The niggas who fucked her, like
Oh my
they
God, man! Just yes or no?
no. But
Okay, but y'all only point out what a black woman has done.
that's not me. I don't do that.
Watch this. He has called the black women bitches and hoes.
Okay.
Black men, whatever, they don't call them the N word. He talked extremely negative about anybody that's pro-black. He constantly talked negative about Pan-African. I keep telling you, and then he say he's not black. His problem is black people. His problem is himself. He don't like himself because he look black. He's not black. He's multiracial. So he look black, and he uses black culture to, and he can benefit from black culture. But now I ain't gonna let nobody just talk negative and put women in a box.
I
And
never put
then,
women in a box,
and
brother.
then
Like I
mention
said, there's black
when you
women who I
mention
think
Thomas
are
Sotomayor,
die
when you
for.
mention Thomas Sotomayor, who ain't never said nothing positive about damn black woman, not even his mama.
Not true. That's not true. He praised Angela Stanton, but go on.
I'm gonna say again, anybody who listened to Thomas Sotomayor, who ain't never said nothing positive about damn black mama, not even his mama when he discussed her, there's a problem. They both, there's mommy issues. And that shows the weakness of the black man because they don't understand what a black man is supposed to be. So when a black man is weak, right? When that person is weak, they listen to people who have them fight down. I keep telling people that black people fight down, they don't fight up. Their problem is what's next to them or what is supposed to be with them. So now in his case, it's him who's a young man. Seems like he's very smart. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the young man because he seems like he's very smart. Now, in his case, he's multiracial, so he ain't gonna say I'm black, but he gonna talk negative about everything that is black. Now, I
That
do tend to have a problem with that because I'm listening to everything that he's saying. Because he say some of them pro-blacks threaten me. Oh, what made him be pro-black? What made him be pro-black? That
they got red, black, and green flags and always talking about Marcus Garvey and everything that you can expect a pro-black person to talk about, bro. Like that's a pro-black person. Like if it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I call them pro-black. They call themselves pro-black. They call themselves Pan-African. So it's like, how am I supposed to act like that's not what they are, man?
So now watch this. So now I can talk negative about the multiracial people, but I won't do that because I have friends that's actually biracial. That's cool with me. Because the only thing this multiracial person has did is just call every black person the N-word. Said call every after I've said 100 times, goddamn, that's very disrespectful. But it's okay because all he's doing is talking to a black person. But he just said and told y'all he won't call white people cracker when he talking to white folks.
Oh, and here here's the thing, brother. Like I said, if someone doesn't want to be called that word, like they want me to stop, and it sounds like you want me to stop using the N-word while here. So I'll stop doing that when you're around. But when it comes to me being in the hood, when it comes to me doing features with these rappers, I gotta talk like them in order to get along with them. That's just how it is. I can't come like my brothers and sisters in Africa. We was great. They're gonna be like, get your ass out of here. Like that's what they're gonna be like, brother. So I gotta talk like them in order to get along with them. That's just a fact. Because if I come in trying to be proper and all that, they're gonna be like, oh, you sounded white, you this, you that, duh, duh, duh. So I gotta do that to fit in, brother. That's what I have to do. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to birds like you, if you don't want me using the N-word around you, I'll cease that. I'll absolutely cease that. And while you're here, I'm actually not gonna use that word no more. So that's actually something I'll stop doing.
And the only thing I want to point out about you saying that, because that's something that we have to do like on a daily, like when you know who you talking to, what words you got to use or whatever. But if that's something you going into as your career, you want to start off with being you for real, for real. And if being you is faking the funk, then okay, so be it. But if being you is actually being real and however it come out, that's how it come out. You know what I mean? That's how I would be personally. But just notice what you said. You know what I mean? Because that's something you're gonna have to live by once you get in it.
Yeah, and yeah, because before Bakari go, I want y'all to Ryan Silly, because you were saying that you don't think you telling like young brothers to kind of stay away from like black women and stuff like that.
I'm sorry. What you say, brother?
No, I was just saying, like, cause last time, cause that was the conversation. I wanted to have a conversation before Bakari leave. You were saying like you tell like young brothers not to mess with like young black women right now, or like what was you saying? You like you kind of talk towards black women and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, like, yes, yeah. And let me break down what I mean by that. I'm not saying to go commit, racial genocide, because that's what a black man is doing when he lays down with a white woman, where he lays down with an Asian woman, where he lays down with a Latina. That's not what I'm for. But when I say like young black men should stay away from young black women, I do that for the safety of the woman, because we know that sisters out here be getting raped left and right and sexually assaulted, be going through all types of shit. And and I know this isn't a black woman, but the singer Queen Naja was talking about how a black man approached her, and she was very uncomfortable about that. She was just like, "Leave me alone. I'm trying to go about my business," and she was ready to pepper spray him or some type of shit. So that's something that a lot of our women have to go through, unfortunately, because they're so used to these thirsty coons and weird dudes out here, what I'm saying, to where they be afraid, like, what is this man gonna do with me? So I definitely think that young brothers should stay away from sisters. Now, I'm not saying they, like, if here's the thing. If a woman just likes them, I think that the woman should approach first, you know what I'm saying, and take a liking to them. That's what I think should happen. But besides that, I do think that young brothers, or not even young brothers, man, just brothers, period, should stay away from sisters. Like, don't go bothering them. Like, be like, hey, yo, mom, can I get your number? All that, you know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, women out here are being raped left and right. Like, the African woman is the most unprotected woman in America. You know what I'm saying? Like what Malcolm was saying. So and I would even say just African women, like, well, yeah, the most unprotected, but women period, just don't be messing with that. Like, dudes going up, like, hey, can I get your number? Like, can we go on a date? Like, if a girl likes you, I just believe that the girl should be the man to approach a woman. I don't think in this day and age in 2021 it's safe for a man to approach a woman, because that could turn to a situation where you getting the police called on you, someone saying you tried sexually assaulting them, being really freaking weird. So in general, I just think that men should stay away from women unless the woman approaches first, you know or say it's a situation where it's a girl you grew up with, and y'all just happen to fall in love. I think that's how people should go about relationships. Or the other option is online dating. If you on Tinder, y'all both swipes, get to talking, end up in a relationship, which happens a lot now, that's fine. But in general, like, dudes going up to chicks and try to talk to them, like, I think that's a dangerous game to play. So I just think in general, dudes should just leave women alone. That's what I think.
Bakari.
Well, only thing I can say about that, he is right about how men approach and treat some women. I've actually had one of my friends call me, say a man actually scared her and forced and basically forced her to give him a number. And when he gave him the number, he called the number right away, and it wasn't her number, and she got threatened again. But you know, other than that, I wouldn't tell a black man to stay away from a black woman. See, once again, that's the man not accepting his role. He's saying the woman should approach the man. Uh-uh. Nope. The man approached the woman. Now, there's going to be some women that approach men, but I'm talking about traditionally, that's what we have done. It's going to always be some crazy people out there. We just hope we never meet or run across the crazy ones. You understand? But yes, that's the man. Man don't understand his role. That's why I say forecast, we got to do that show. Respect, love, provide, and protect. The man don't understand his role. See, that's the dangers of people like Thomas Sotomayor on YouTube. Even though it's YouTube, right? We have young folks out here that listen to his nonsense and they make it make sense. I can name a few more. Kevin Samuels, the gay dude. That's the dangers of people like that, right? So, and it's the dangers of when you find somebody waving the red, black, and green, you know, saying that they are pro-black, saying that they are pan-African, right? Has people ever used it for a hustle? Yep. But he needs to differentiate. You understand? Because when he say, because he just talking about everybody that's pro-black, pan-African, and I'm pro-black, pan-African, and I ain't never hustled a scam nobody. Those are the ones that he ran into. But that's the dangers of people like, once again, people like the folks that he listened to on YouTube, and whoever he say he go with science, but there's no way he grew up from a little child saying, say you're multiracial. I don't, unless his mom and daddy told him to say you're multiracial. You understand? Now, if he got a black parent and a non-black parent, then he is biracial. You understand? But to say people like Malcolm X shouldn't say he's black because it doesn't make a difference how that white blood got in him. It's in him. So he shouldn't say he's black. He should have said he was multiracial. No. What the dude, the famous reggae singer from Jamaica, Bob Marley. That's what he did. He talked about how his mama was raped by an Irish man. And the Irish dude actually had like 19 kids by black women that he had forced himself on. And of course, nothing happened. Bob Marley was like the only one that wanted to chase him down and say, that's my father. You have to be out of your damn mind to want to be around somebody or claim somebody that raped your mother, even if that's how you got here. I don't want nothing to do with that person. You see how he can differentiate himself from pro-black, pan-African, and make sure he say something negative and make sure he's not those people, right? That scammed him. But it's okay to associate yourself with the people that raped your ancestors. You understand what I'm trying to do you understand why I'm going here?
Yeah.
Three,
But at that,
wait. 3 or 4 pro-black pan-African people scammed him. 3 or 4 pro-black pan-African people threatened him.
it's way
So
more than
I'm
3 or 4. But
I'm gonna make sure I say something negative about them every time I mention them, right? But the people that rape your ancestors, it's okay for me to associate with them. I'm those people too.
no,
I'm gonna go back to what I said. He has a problem with African people. He has a problem with black people. He has a problem with himself. He's a young man, and I can tell he's very smart. But I tell him the same thing I tell my little 18-year-old. You smart, but you don't listen. You think you know everything. So
I don't. I don't know everything.
every time they speak, every time he speak of something black and speak of it negative, because I don't understand how being pro-black became negative. How being pan-African
And I never done,
became
brother. Never said all or none of the stuff you're talking about. But
became negative. No, you didn't say all, but I just listened to the words that came out of your mouth. So I'm gonna go back to what I said. The dangers of, let me see, people like Brother Polite, who can make people see. Because what I'm doing, I'm not even blaming you, young man. I want you to listen to what I'm saying. The dangers of people like Brother Polite, who can wave the red, black, and green, scream pro-black, pan-African, then you see what he do. So now I'm going to disassociate myself from that, right? The dangers of listening to someone like Tommy Sotomayor. All of this stuff is coming out of him. If you ever listened to anything Tommy Sotomayor said, if you ever listened if you ever saw the actions and saw how Brother Polite acted once he made him a little money, and who was he around, and how he truly felt about black people. The dangers of social media. Social media could have been a great thing for black people, but black people didn't use it properly. So we have a lot of hustlers. The people he listening to, like Thomas Sotomayor, he have a lot of hustlers, Brother Polite, scammers, them two names I said, and I can name more, but I don't need to continue. That's the dangers of these people on YouTube, because now these people have become YouTube celebrities. They're not on TV, but they're on a screen. It's your computer screen. And we all know how black people feel about celebrities. And if you listen to him and everything that this young brother is saying, right? Everything that this young man is saying, right? He have been listening to the wrong people. And all you got to do is listen to how he speak. I'm done.
And well, I'll just say that, brother, you're entitled to your opinion, but at the end of the day, I honestly don't give a fuck. And I'm gonna keep listening to, the some of the people you named, like even Brother Polite, and I don't rock with that dude. You know what I'm saying? As a person, his information is very valid. Like I saw a debate he did with a gay black man, on Sonnetter, last month, and it had thousands of dollars of knowledge in it. You know what I'm saying? So in regards to that brother, um, and his character and all that, I don't rock with him in that regard. But in regards to information, I'm gonna listen to that. And even in regards to Tommy Sotomayor, I don't know that brother either. You know what I'm saying? But he be saying a lot of real stuff. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of black women that listen to him. You know, so I mean, it's just gonna be what it is. Like I've heard what the brothers be saying. You know, like I said, he's not right about everything. But lately, his stuff he's been saying this past year has been mostly facts. You know, when he's criticizing the black community for some of the faults in it, and the faults in logic and stuff. It's hard to really combat his talking points, in my opinion. I listen to the brother, clearly hear what he's saying. I'm like, how can anyone say this man is wrong when he's saying this is what our people will do to each other? This is how low will go. This some of the guard behavior will engage in, and it shows how much hate we have for each other. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it just is what it is, brother. If you feel that way about those people, that's your business. You have your life to live, I have mine to live. But at the end of the day, my truth is the truth in my eyes, and I'm gonna live and die by that.
Hey,
So
let me because MG2 just came on, my brother. What's going on, MG2?
I
OG.
wanted to say fantastic show to you guys, man. And Brother Bakari, and Brother Forecast, thank you for coming on last night. Brother Bakari, for coming today. There's a lot of productive stuff that we can do. And I'll talk to you, Brother Bakari, in terms of the businesses that we were talking about, transportation, because there's a lot of good stuff out there for those that are productive. Very interesting conversation. Before I get started, I want to your guest Ryan. Welcome. Thank you guys for letting me speak. Ryan, if you don't mind me asking, are you under 30 years old?
yes, sir. I am 22 years old.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, I just want to get the foundation. Do you own your business? And if so, how many employees do you have?
No, I have zero businesses at this point.
Okay, so you work for someone else then?
Yes.
Okay, good. So, and do you have any children? Are you married or anything like that?
Nope. Haven't even had a girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? No children.
Oh, okay. I'm just getting a foundation. Do you plan on getting married and having children?
Honestly, like I said earlier, I hate the white blood in me. And I don't think I would make personally a great husband, a great parent. So currently I don't see that stuff in my future anytime soon. Things may change, but as of now, I'm not interested in really any of that whatsoever.
Okay, I understand. What do you, and if you don't mind me asking, what do you see yourself doing in 5 years, and what do you see yourself doing in 20 years?
Wow. In 5 years, I see myself, being a millionaire, traveling across the country, doing maybe lectures or doing concerts, traveling to other countries. In 20 years, I mean, I may see myself still doing music, but in 20 years, like, I'll probably be on some more political stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like it would be weird if I'm a 4-year-old man talking about busing and shooting at people. Nah, man. So once I hit 40, 30s, 40s, um, honestly, I see myself really being chill, laid back, being more of an activist. I mean, that's what Willie D from the Ghetto Boys does. That's what Lord Jamar does. So I see myself as kind of having a podcast, doing what people like Lord Jamar and Willie D are doing right now.
Okay. And what do you think is the number one priority? First off, let me rephrase this because if I'm not mistaken, you consider yourself multiracial and not black, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So I just want to get some foundation. Now, being from a different, because each race, which is kind of clearly, I won't say facts, I'll say it's the record. Like if I used to do hybrid plants, if I have a hybrid, that's a different species from the original plants. Being a different species from black folks, because clearly multiracials are different species, clearly. That's the record. Not facts, because I'm going to let you know something, Ryan. Beauty, truth, history, facts, is like beauty. It's in the eye of the beholder, but the record never changes. If it rained yesterday, I can't say it unrained because that never changed. So clearly, a different species of a plant or a person, that's the record. Once something has been altered, it is not its original form. So being from a different species and not an African or a black species, what do you think is the top priority? If you had one choice, the top priority for the species of black folks, now you're an outsider, clearly, so I want to get more of an outsider's opinion of what they think would benefit those that are black, of a different species. So what would you consider are the top priorities of the species of black folks from an outside point of view? Would it be that the family unit needs to be put back together? Two, that the women need to go ahead and straighten up and fly right. Three, that the youngsters should have more say about what they're doing and be more independent. Or four, that the males should go ahead and compete and fight against other males.
Family unit.
Okay. Okay, and then what would be number two?
I forgot. I won't even lie, man. I forgot what was some of the
Okay,
other.
I got your priority. That's the thing is, I wanted to get kind of an idea of who you are, so therefore, I can actually, learn from everything that you're telling me. Um, I have a daughter that's 35 this year, and I raised a 40-year-old. Oh, no, she's 50 this year. So it gives me kind of a foundation. I can't remember 22. That's like a lifetime ago, and therefore, it's a lot easier for me to learn from our youth because to me, you are a youth to get kind of a foundation of the direction of where I think that that black folks, even though that you don't consider yourself maybe black, you are a different species in your own mind. I might not consider that, but it is what it is. My considerations mean nothing, according to the record, because the record states someone else is multiracial, then therefore they are definitely not my species. So what I do is I like to get kind of an idea, and so I can learn, and I want to learn so much from you. One of the things that you brought up before is you were talking about when you're around a lot of rappers and whatnot, the way they talk, and how if you went and talked to them and talked about brother, sister, they would look at you crazy. Um, when you're around whites, do you have to do the same thing to change who you are to make sure that they don't consider you crazy, or Asians or Hispanics or anyone else?
I mean, I don't usually go around other races about deep stuff because I don't give a fuck about helping them. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm around them, I mean, I'm cordial and stuff, but it's not like I'm trying to get into conversations or nothing like that. I don't even, just on social side too. I don't even give money to homeless white people. Like when white folks are out trying to ask me for money, I'm thinking like, bitch, like you fucking white. Like, how do you fumble the bag on whiteness? Like I straight up ignore them people. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to other races, it's just like I don't care about trying to appeal to them or make them feel good or even talk to them like that. You know what I'm saying? So I
Well,
rarely.
I'm glad you said. Sorry to cut you off because clearly you said you're multiracial and not black, so black would be another race. So, is it that you want to help black because you said you're not helping other races, or what is it that the relationship of what you talk in front of those that consider themselves black, pro-black, or rappers? What is your relationship? Is it unlike the European and the Hispanic, where you because clearly it seems like you're getting in deep conversations with those who are different species of yourself, namely black. Is that am I on the right path saying that?
Yeah, yeah. And to answer your question, yeah, it's definitely to help and not just leech off of people. I mean, like I couldn't even do things like folks be doing, like scamming. That shit would eat at my damn soul. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I'm on some hustling shit and using people. I genuinely want to help African men be the best men that they can be. Like, stop killing each other, stop promoting gang violence and all that type of bullshit. Like, get on your stuff and be the true king that you are meant to be. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes,
I'm sorry to cut you off. What is in your opinion, what is the number one priority that a man should have? Should be making a man the best man he could be. Should it be protecting the entire village? Should it be making the woman the best woman she should be? Or should it be going ahead and just hanging out and doing your own thing?
damn, man. I mean, like when it comes to a village, like these dudes out here that I just described, like these hood dudes, they aren't thinking about like, women, let those black women in the village, or none of that. They just thinking like, let me get this money, let me smash these hoes, let me do a bunch of dumb stuff. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to them, I mean, honestly, it's like I think they should really focus on building themselves more than anything, and finding their history, like from where I'm from, Connecticut, it's a lot of Caribbeans. So when it comes to these Panamanians and well, Panamanians, that's not Caribbean, that's like, Latino or whatever. Like when it comes to these Afro Latinos and Caribbeans and all that, what I want for them is to just kind of, look into the ancestral lineage, found by their family history, and kind of go from there. Like, what am I gonna do with my life? What path am I gonna go on? You know what I'm saying?
I feel you. I definitely feel you. What I'm gonna do is I don't want to take too much time because I'm gonna sum it up some things that might help you out because I see in you a lot of things that I was like when I was younger, and some of it I had to say that I'm glad I learned so I can never be like that again, and some of it I say thank God I learned from that, so therefore I can amplify the things that I learned when I was your age. Certain things, certain traits that you say, I was there, my brother. I say look because you're like a youngster. I mean, I'm sure I probably got a child your age or a grandchild. I wouldn't doubt it. But the thing is, you're still, where you're growing and where you're at. Many, not only have I been, but all my brothers and everyone else. I don't want to take up too much time, but one thing I wanted to say is that I know exactly where your ambitions to a certain extent. You brought up the Polites, the Tommy Sotomayors, you brought up the guys in the hood. I'm looking at your environment and the environment you're around, i.e., the Tommy Sotomayors, the guys in the hoods, the plights, and whatnot. I ask myself, are any of these guys, have they produced anything that the world wants, needs, can't do it out and ready to kill for? Have they produced anything as much as a safety pin? Have they produced, and manufactured some innovative technology? Do they own farms? Do they own, biomedical or anything like that? And clearly, it seems your environment, Polite, the Tariq Nasheeds or whoever else, or Tommy Sotomayor, from what I've seen from them, I don't see anything that any other race will compete, whether it's agriculture, technology, military, finance, anything that they can compete with. So I'm just going to say your environment kind of, and unfortunately, as African males, our environment shapes us more than our experience. Because our experience, we keep repeating and trying to get different results. That's called insanity. So, anyways, I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic before I conclude, because I'm going to listen to you guys some more. Ryan, I'm going to give you some ideas that you might, some folks will say suggestions, some folks will say lessons. I don't care about that. All I want to do is give you some ideas that maybe might help you, and maybe might, it might give you some things. It might not change your thinking. Hey, this is your life, and I want the best for you. But I think these ideas will more than likely help you and give you a better foundation. And maybe you'll go ahead and think a little differently than you do about this other species called black folk. And definitely people like me who live Marcus Garvey called pro black. So, anyways, I'm going to pass the mic and listen to you guys some more.
All right, yeah, thank you, MG2. And then this is what we're gonna do. Because Blue haven't said nothing for a while, so we're gonna go to Blue, and then we're gonna start wrapping it up, and then I'm gonna go with Bakari to wrap it up. So you can go ahead, Blue.
Okay. I mean, you could have went. I don't know. Excuse me. I don't know if we changed the topic to talking about just each other's being an individual and then into relationship.
Yeah, you
But
talk about that. Yeah.
okay. But yeah, no, I was just thinking to try to see the word nigga in a different light. Like now I know it's something that we all grew up hearing our family members and stuff kind of say playfully, in a joking manner, but we never really use it like as talking about race. We just use that word. Um, it's been so normalized. But then when you think about it, do you hear, a white race and their slang and talk to each other, be like, yo, what's up, cracker? Or, like, hell no, cracker, or what? You just don't hear that. It even sounds funny because, just not used to hearing it. But, if we carried it to that extent, would we take it there? Because it's really a disrespect to ourselves at the end of the day, for real, for real. No matter how we decide to use it or look at it, like the history of it is never going to change. So I know we've been through a lot as a people, and we find different ways to get over and get through things, and that's just one of them. You know, I just wish we stopped being so um, understanding and apologetic about it, and just stand on it. Like Bakara is saying, if the person is just not in any what shape or form affiliated or black, they shouldn't even be using around you. I never understood how people could have friends of different races and be cool with them saying it. you know it's not gonna, like, it's a conversation around me. I've fortunately never had to have that conversation, but people know how to treat certain people. If you carry yourself with a certain level of respect, they gonna know who they dealing with and who not to say that around. So I think that's a part of the reason why I've never had to get into a situation like that. But as far as relationships, it's a cycle, and we can't point the finger at one either sex. It's a cycle, and outside of the cycle, we have what's been happening or what's happened to us, from history, and it's been passed down, from for generations. So unfortunately, until we get the mental help that we need um, to help change our mindset and outlook at things, it's going to we may see it changing, a couple more generations, but it's never going to completely get there till we start changing the mindset. And I feel like from a woman's standpoint, I know a lot of single moms, and I'm 32. So in my generation, the shit is still going on to where we got a lot of single moms. I probably know about one or two single dads, that have their kids, you know, um, and that is a part of the problem. Um, and then one person is only one person. If you got one person, even with two kids, they got to take care of household, them, and in their each of their two kids. And then because of the arguing and misunderstanding, because that's what it is at the end of the day, when two people really get upset, is because they have so much passion behind what they're talking about that they don't know how else to get their point across because they feel the other person's not understanding, and the same thing vice versa. It is going to take, one person to, what we call, I guess, be the bigger one, to take the time to say, okay, let me just reconfirm what they're telling me to make sure I understand what they're saying. Maybe that's not what they really mean. Because we say we love you to each other all the time, but when we go through all of these ups and downs and fusses and fights, it just don't seem like it. But it's really a bunch of misunderstandings that we get so fed up that it's just like, okay, I'm done. And again, it just takes really, you have to, if you know a person, you shouldn't have to. I feel like communication, a lack of communication is really it. Because we don't really know ourselves completely. um, you have a hard time expressing yourself or explaining yourself, articulating what it is you're trying to say, and the emotions just get the best of everything, and that's when people walk away. So I definitely feel like it takes two, and it's there's not a one race thing. Most of the time, coming from the opposite, I'm sorry, sex, coming from the opposite sex, you may hear more men say, okay, yeah, females, this, that, and this, and that, and this. And you're going to hear for maybe more females than males, this, and that, and this, and that. But me being honest with myself and honest with what I see, I know it's both parties. I know women can be that person, that's causing everything. And I know it could be men too. But like I said, it's a cycle, that has to be just more, we just have to be more understanding with each other, and just remembering that we've been through a lot to where we don't know how to even deal with each other. So let's both acknowledge that and try to be more patient with each other. We patient with everything else, but when it comes down to who you're dealing with, your family members, your friends, we just have zero tolerance. Oh, I'm not dealing with that. I'm not putting up with this, but you putting up with everything else. you know I wish we put as much as energy that we do into arguing with each other, with not falling for anything else outside of that. Fight for more with your job, for your kids, for just your living standards. Don't you want more out of the life that you're living? The imagination has just been diminished. We can't even begin to imagine having ownership and being living at a higher standard than we are, because it's been this way for so long. And we look at celebrities like it's a dream, when that shit should be, average. Um, and I would leave it just at that. It's just a basis to me. There's no particular this and particular that. You have a situation and you have some things that you can do to combat it. It's not, oh, women keep doing this and men keep doing that. It's a partnership thing that both parties, it just depends on the person, if they're the one that needs that help or not. And are you going to help them, guide them to that help instead of leaving them if you really love them? And that could be in any relationship. And I'll yield the mic.
All right, thank you, Blue. And then so now we're gonna just go around. Well, y'all can say it, take as long as y'all want and speak, and it's on you, Bakari. And if y'all want to have, if you want to have a conversation with anybody, if you want to have a conversation with the brother Ryan Selly, is all good too. Or you can take as long as you want to say everything you want to say. It's on you, my brother.
And once again, I must say thank you for letting me come on your panel, my brother Forecast. Blue, it was good seeing you, talking to you, being on the panel with you again. MG2, my brother, it's always a pleasure. But Blue, we got to talk. We got something coming up. Me, you, and Forecast. I put it in the text. I don't know if you got it. It's about business, about something that's gonna be coming through in about hopefully next 30 days. But
Okay.
anyway, man, say that again, Blue.
I said, okay, I'll follow up with you.
Yeah, because you're gonna need you, in all honesty. But this was an interesting show. We had some interesting topics, right? And everything is Ryan Seeley. I'm gonna tell you something, man, young man. That's what I'm gonna call you, young man, because I got kids older than you, right? You're a young man. In all honesty, you can listen to who you want to listen to. You're grown. I can't tell you what to do. But you're listening to some folks that's guiding you the wrong way. You're following some people, even when you mention the person talking about the information. That information is even a hustle. Because he said so quick and so fast, most people don't understand when folks is hustling. But you're very intelligent. I know you're not black. You're multiracial. Uh, I'm a firm believer in black people have to fix their own problems, right? The multiracial people, the white folks, the Asians, the Orientals, all them, they can't fix our problems. We understand we in this world alone. We know it's us versus the world. So you have made your decision on what you are. So I won't call you black. And I call you young man. I can't call you young brother because I only call black people brother. But I give you the respect and call you a young man. But in all honesty, young man, we have to stay out of, we have to let black people fix their own problems. And it's not good to be beaten up verbally on black women. Because if you listen to people that can find all of the bad black women they talk about, that let you know that's how they feel about black women. Even though if he say, oh, he speak very high of Angela Stanton. Yeah, because Angela Stanton came out talking. See, it's not the fact that he speaks so high that he cared anything about Angela Stanton. And I don't even watch the show. I just know Angela Stanton came out talking about she would never call her son, which I absolutely agree with. And I like Angela Stanton, but she would never call her son a woman because he can't change his gender. She gave birth to two sons or something like that, right? So it's not the fact that the stance that she took against pedophilia and against not pedophilia, homosexuality, and the stance she took against the Democratic Party. I already know why people like that will have something positive to say about Angela Stanton. But when it come back to black women, everything come out their mouth is negative. When it come to black people, the guy he listened, I heard him because I don't watch him. I just saw somebody play it one day. And what did he say? I can't wait till the police kill all y'all N-words. All y'all need to die. And if that's the person we're gonna listen to and talk about how black people treat one another. Now I understand you multiracial, but I'm talking to black folk. So if that's the person black people gonna listen to say how black people treat each other, just listen to the words that come out of his mouth and see how he treat black people. Look how when they pulled up that video when he was on side of the road and had a bumped a woman car, whatever happened in the traffic, how he got out of his car, ready to fight a black woman. But this is a man that people will listen to because he's extremely negative. He has mama issues as well. And he have problem with black people. So there's nothing gonna ever be nothing positive come out of his mouth. Even on his Stephen A. Smith stance, he must been losing some people subscribing because that's what everybody has been talking about. Stephen A. Smith. So that is something I can jump. What I'm doing is I'm showing you how those people, they're just for entertainment. But this social media thing is very dangerous. And in my opinion, I would say, because this is what I'm around, it is the way black people has carried on. Treat one another, talk to one another, threaten to kill one another, hope the police come kill all N-words all over social media. I would say that is the dangers of social media for black people. That's the dangers. All of this false history is one of the dangers. It has exposed black people, the hatred that black people have for one another. It has exposed the weakness of black men who only want to fight a black woman because what's at top or what's in the middle that keeping them from getting to the top, they are afraid of that. They tell you don't fight up, you fight down. And we have young minds that's listening to these people. And the future of black people don't look too good. Don't look too good if they're following this social media. I have to stay on my kids all the time. That's why I made so my youngest son, and he wanted to go, and I'm glad because that's how I raised him. Make sure you go to an HBCU. Go be around your people. And watch this. You say people from the hood and all that, and when he went to Jackson State and all his friends here, guess what? They do not have to call each other the N word to communicate. They like, what's up, brother? They don't call each other the N word. That's not what they are. They are what's up, brother. And the women, the girls that's in their crew is what's up, sister. They are not the N word. The men ain't. And the girls and the young ladies in their crew is not B's and H's. We don't have respect for one another. I'm going to say it again. Respect, love, provide, protect. Respect is at the top. And we don't respect one another. It's a true hatred, and we want to make sure if I get something, the next person don't get it because I want to shine better than them because he can sit here and call them crackers, but I want them to look at me differently. That's why when I'm around them, I don't have to say anything so I can be okay with them, but I'm not going to call them a cracker when I talk to them. I'm not going to call a Mexican a wetback. I'm not going to call a Chinese person a chink. I'm not going to call, as some people say, Arab. I say Arab, they say it's disrespectful. He's not going to call them an Arab. He's not going to call those Indians Apu, so on and so forth. So listen to the people that only get the disrespect. Listen to the people that only get disrespected. And look who they're being disrespected by. And for some strange reason, we think that's cool. But Forecast, I thank you for allowing me on your panel once again. This is Brother Bakari. That's my channel, Brother Bakari. If y'all hadn't heard of me, you heard of me now. Y'all can go hit the subscribe button if I said something that you found interesting. If I didn't, just drop through sometime. I might say something that you find interesting. But thank you once again.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. I put your channel in the chat, and I ain't know Arab was disrespectful for them, so I should start saying it more. So anyway, Ryan Silly, like you can go take like just like Bakari, take as long as you want. If you want to say something to anybody, you can do that too. Yeah, but make a closing statement and stuff.
I mean, I feel what the elder was saying. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to like the people I'm gonna be hanging around, like they're not in college. Like these are people whose blood's Crips, Black disciples, gangster disciples, vice lords, all of that, and that's just how they talk. So that's what I'm gonna be. That's what I'm gonna be around. You know what I'm saying? It's not just like some regular high school students or not even high school, but HBCU. Black kids and stuff. That's just not what I'm gonna be around. So I feel what you're saying, but like that's just not what I'm gonna be around. Like the dudes I'm around, like these are some of the people who's a part of the problem. And something that I heard from this one biracial dude from Oakland, he said the people who are closest to a problem are sometimes closest to the solution. So I'm going to the people who's closest to the problem. And the people who's closest to the problem, they say things like niggas and bitches and shit like that. So I'm gonna be talking, like how they talk. you know. But I won't even lie. Like even when I'm not around them, that's how I be thinking. I be saying niggas in my head and bitches in my head, all types of stuff. And that may because with the music I've listened to and the environment I've grown up around, like being in high school around these type of dudes, I just kind of picked up their verbiage. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that, but yeah, I mean, much respect to you, Elder. You know what I'm saying? I get where you're coming from and a lot of things you say, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna do me. And when it comes to some of the people you named, like obviously, I wouldn't mess with them, because they've went too far. But some of them, like if I was to be a guest on their platform, like I would, depending on the topic. Like it's just like where are we gonna talk about? You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, um there's always going to be pan-africans and pro-blacks who disagree, like a lot of the things you was just saying. I know a lot of pro-blacks and pan-africans who completely disagree. They look at things a whole nother way. And when it comes to people like Tommy Sotomayor, there's some pro-blacks and pan-Africans who talk to him all the time. Like Sinetter invites him on his platform and talks to him. Like so, and that's what I actually love about Sinetter. Sinetter is a dude that be going around talking to everybody. I'm that dude. I go around talking to damn near everyone in the community. Except obviously the people who do things like go a little too far. Once people start preying on children, all that, it's like, nah, man, you a rap, you done. You know what I'm saying? But besides that, I'm willing to talk to everybody in the community. Like even once I get my podcast jumping, I'm gonna try and inviting different people on, whether it's some athletes, they got something intelligent to say, whether it's some actors got some intelligence to say, rappers. Like I'd let anyone on, like if I feel like the conversation could be good. So that's the type of dude I am. Like and to further explain things, like I was watching one of the people in your circle the other day going out, brother. I'm cool with, and when it comes to things like that, I don't be taking sides of folks' beef. I just see them like, word, these Negroes is wilding, and I keep it pushing, cause with me it's like if two people are beefing or whatever, like if I know I can't do much to stop the situation and it's just gonna keep going, that I'm gonna remain silent, and I'm not gonna take sides. So I'm that type of dude who's cool with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Of course, not everybody, but I'm cool. I'm trying to be cool with a lot of people and really build with folks, because I genuinely love the African community. I genuinely love my multiracial community. And the fact of the matter is, it's hard to really separate us from each other when we're constantly in each other's spaces. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that's pretty much how I'm gonna wrap things up.
Okay, yeah, and I appreciate you for coming on and talking to everybody and talking to Bakari and Blue and MG2. I appreciate you coming through, my brother. MG2, I know you got some knowledge to drop on us, my brother.
Sure. First off, Brother Forecast, if you ever get a chance, watch Listerville Middleton.
Watch what? Say that again. Say that again.
Listerville Middleton.
Listerville Middleton.
Yeah. You kind of remind me of, in terms of being able to do a program. I mean, this is like one of my most brilliant Pan-African brothers. He was back in the 90s, in the 80s. And a lot of what you're doing, he's like a hero to many. Brother Bakari, if you ever get a chance, after market hours, I'd love to talk to you, when the market's closed, because this week's, I'm still reeling from a bunch of earning stock trades that I got to deal with. I definitely have some ideas, and if possible, I'd like to talk to you and some other truckers of just some ideas. I had a conversation with somebody in the trucking industry today, and I'm always talking about innovation and inventing things and creating things that no one else has. The next Uber or the next, Amazon. This might be something, Brother Bakari, that, especially in transportation, that might be not only up your alley, but something I think that you and the other brothers that are truckers definitely need to do. Blue, oh man, Blue! I hope you write a book. That's all I can say is I really hope you write a book, like a manual, not just relationships, but the practicality. Because what you're doing, Blue, is what's been needed for a very long time. Okay, for both brothers and sisters. Hopefully that we'll and I can expound at a later date. But I wish you would write a book or do something, a video series or something of just your observations and how things would work. Because I think, in the years that I've seen happen, Like with Dr. Frances Cress Welsing and how she had approached it lecture-wise, I think in the way that where people are streaming and doing a lot of things right now, I think there's a vacuum of where we have really intelligent and incredible sisters to be able to do like a video series that could be streamed. Because I think that's, there was something that Ryan brought up earlier about fixing families. And I think a lot of the fixing families, not only would it be the male, but I think a lot of that, being the woman is our first teacher, I think she has probably a greater hand or as much as equal hand in fixing families. And I think what you're doing, Blue, is probably, should be the foundation of that. Ryan, I wanted to give you kind of an idea, and I'm so glad that I had a chance to talk with you because, being able to talk to the young folk makes me learn. Okay, Ryan, you make me learn irrespective, because age is a number, but one thing is intelligence is not nothing but a number. Intelligence is experience. Intelligence is using that experience to go ahead and make things better for those that are coming after you, the youth and everyone else, and to protect your women and children. Intelligence is also being able to learn, whether it's children or elders. I don't care who it is. I learn from everybody. And you gave me so many lessons tonight, just being able, the questions I was asking you, Ryan, it makes me approach folks your age a little differently because, of course, you're in a different life. You're in a whole different world than I am right now and the things I've experienced. One thing I want to do is just give you some ideas. Now, some folks will say advice. I don't believe in that, because like you said, you're going to do you. And that's, if you're not doing you, then there's something wrong with the world, okay? Because only you can do you. Nobody else can. And nobody else should want to. And if they ever want to do you, Ryan, go ahead and send them to a nut house because they should be doing themselves, being who you are. But I'm going to just give you some ideas, mull it over one day. There's a certain statement, you are the company you keep. Not to say that you're rolling with individuals. You were talking about the individuals in your sphere and in your realm who use certain, who have a certain way that they present themselves or what they live, their lives or whatnot. But irrespective of that, they always say that you could tell a person by just contact the nearest 9 friends of that person. You can tell who that person is. But it's not just friends. You could tell a man by his time, his energy, and where he puts his interest. And when I say you are the company that you keep, irrespective of who you listen to or who you admire or where you spend your energy, whether it's out there producing, innovating products, trying to create inventions, trying to protect things, whatever it is, that energy, what that product is a product of who you are. When a lot of the social media nonsense has been happening, I look at these idiots, and I call them idiots, like Tommy Sotomayor, like Tariq Nasheed, Polite, and all these others, because at the end of the day, they still have to rely on men of other races to do everything that they need in life, including water. Okay? As I always say in my live streams, I say we don't even own our piss because the water we drink, other men provide it for us. And that's unfortunate for us, whether you want to call yourself multiracial, black, whatever. Thug, coon, hip-hop, Moor, Kemet, Pan-African, whatever Israelite, whatever we want to call ourselves, all the foundations of everything we rely on are brought to us by other men. We don't create it. But other men profit on what we do. So therefore, clearly there's a vacuum or there's a disadvantage when another man provides you everything you need to live with. Okay? That's just something, again, these are just things to mull over, just some ideas. When I ask the critical question of the priorities, what's the first? Most men who own and control their destiny and know in their life, that's why I ask you where you see yourself in 5 years and 20, and then in 20 years, because I wish somebody had asked me that, because I already had it, and I've lived what I wanted in terms of the 5 year and 20 year. You talked about concerts. Give you kind of an idea. I've done so many concerts. I tour with a lot of artists, okay? And most of the artists you guys know. Hip hop, pop, rock, and everything else. I've toured with so many. Matter of fact, the day when Michael Jackson passed away, I was rehearsing next door to his band. Okay, because I was on another tour with another band, and we were going to go see Michael the next day over at Sony. So I've been in this business for a very, very long time. I've been, everything from sound check to catering to load out to load in. I've seen it dozens of times and rode in dozens of tour buses. So when you said concerts, it just gave me an idea of what your priorities are right now, and then your priorities 20 years from now. When I asked what was the top priority, and you said fixing family, I asked other men of other races the same question. and their top priority is to compete against other men. Okay, they did not answer the question, and what your question is no different than I asked a lot of brothers. Okay, a lot of Africans, not just multiracials, but also Ryan. I asked other black men or black males the same question, and 9 times out of 10, so what you're doing is not an anomaly. 9 times out of 10, most black males will say we need to fix the family, but they will never say compete against other men. That's not the first thing that's in their mind. Okay, and I can understand that, because then I ask them a follow-up question: then who broke the family if it's fixed, if it needs fixing? Who broke it up? And then 9 times out of 10, it was other males of other races who compete against you as a male that broke your family up in the first place. So therefore, they know what they want and what they're doing, and they have a priority, a set of priorities. So I said to myself, how do I change that? How can I change that? What can I do? One, I have to find the company that I keep. I don't change myself, and I live, kind of close to a hood, I guess you could call it that. Used to be the hood. I don't change myself or who I am to go ahead so they can relate to me. They relate to me in the terms of who I am. That's all I could do. I don't sit there, and I converse with these brothers. Most of them are a lot older, and a lot of them are one step away from Section 8 or one step away from going ahead and doing time. And I'll sit there and I'll work out. I do my workout. I do a lot of calisthenics. I do a lot of fight training. And the first thing I'll do is I'll go in, and they know just by looking at my demeanor, Ryan, they don't even come up to me with this, quote unquote hood speak. They know the moment they walk in, they see my demeanor. They see how I walk. They see who I am. And the first thing, these guys who are former so-called thugs and gangsters, they go up to me and say, "What's up, brother?" Because they know that's who I am. So they approach me on my terms. I don't change for them. They approach me with, most of them will. Most of the brothers on the street, gangsters, they'll come up to me. "What's up, brother?" All right. And they know point blank I'm a Garveyite. They know point blank I'm not going to talk to them in conversation of hood speak and whatnot. I talk in conversation of innovation, of making, producing things, of protecting things, of conquering other males. I'm not out here to go ahead and say, "Throw up your fist, I'm a Pan-African, pro-black, assalamu alaikum, hotep." I'm out there to compete and destroy other males so we can take over as black folks. I want us to be on top. I don't care about any of these social media accolades of these other individuals out there who are talking, because the only thing that a Tariq or a Tommy or any of these guys, that a lot of these social media, anything that they've produced, no one else in the world needs. Therefore, these guys are non-competitive. They don't produce as much as a diaper, a tissue, a toilet paper, or a shoestring. Other males, Ryan, produce that, and we have to buy it from other males. At the end of the day, 30 years from now, these individuals will be forgotten, but not Jeff Bezos, not Mark Zuckerberg, not the Asians that own damn near half of Africa, not the Hispanics that own your food chain and damn near all the supply chains and the grocery stores, not the Asians that own almost all the medical environments and everything else. They will not be forgotten, because their mindset is not in the I won't say the gutter, but they don't think about hood rats. You don't hear that term in Asians, because their term is, how do I compete and take resource from black folks and make them buy from me, because they're too caught up listening to Tommy Sotomayor and everyone else who will really do nothing. In 30 years, they'll be forgotten. 30 years, give me 2. Okay? I'll be surprised if these clowns are around, because they produce nothing. They are nothing. They don't want anything. And, they amount to nothing. And I understand that. That's cool. I ain't mad at it. I'm not just like, hey, if that's your realm, Tommy or Tariq or whoever, be you. And that's cool for you. But for myself, I don't want to look and say I'm buying a product from, Tim Cook because it's an iPhone. I would rather Ryan be innovative in technology and be the next one to make a phone that everybody uses and they can't do it out. I would rather Ryan be the one that owns all the farms, so therefore I don't have to go to some Hispanic and get almonds. I could go to Ryan's farms. And when you said you want to be a millionaire, I don't see you as a millionaire. I see you as a multi-billionaire. You do you, but this is what I see of you. Okay, I don't see you as, okay, I got a millionaire, I'm hanging out, I want to retire, be on the lecture circuit. I personally see you actually making sure that if any truck comes in and out, it has your name on that truck, and you reap the profits. And in Congress, they're sitting up there going, can we get money because we need to go ahead and be elected senator? That's what I see. I see us taking over. My aspirations and what I see, Ryan, even though I'm 98% blind, I went to the doctor the other day because they're trying to go ahead and tell me, which is going to, I feel bad because I can't tour like I used to. But the thing that I do is I can see things that others can't see, even if I don't have eyes. One thing that I see is, and I hope I'm not wrong. I might be wrong. I see Orion that says, damn, I've had my fun. I've listened to these folks. I've learned this. I've been with the Pan-Africans, the blacks, the multiracials, the anti-racials, whatever. I don't care. Because anytime somebody says you're pro something, then the opposite is anti. So if you're not pro-black, you're anti-black. It's just common sense. So I don't see that. I see Orion, I see a Blue, I see a Bakari, I see a Brother Forecast. And 30 years, 20 years, they're saying, look, social media means nothing to us because they have to come to us to go ahead and make policy. Because our endeavors, our businesses, our industries, not just, oh, I own a store, I own an industry. I don't care what industry it is, but it's something that the Philippines can't do without, and I get all their revenue. I see that. I don't see somebody just hanging out talking to talking about hood rats and, thugs and, because any of these clowns that you were talking about, I'm telling you, and stick a pin in this. If Ryan does what I see that Ryan does in 20 years, the Tariqs, the Tommies, the Polites, and everyone else, if they're still alive, will be on their knees like mortals, crawling to you saying, brother, do you got a dime? On that note, I'm going to sign off. Hotep to all of you guys, and I really thank you so much, Brother Forecast.
All right, yeah, thank you, MD2. I appreciate it. And
Hey, Forecast, let me say something before you close out right quick.
Go ahead, do your thing, my brother.
Hey, Ryan, I want you to know, it probably didn't sound like it, but I don't dislike you. I hope you come around more. Because one thing for sure, I want you to see how people that truly live pro-black and seeking black unity. I'm not trying to change you. You're going to be you. You're going to be Mojo. You're going to hang where you hang. You're going to do what you do. But I want you to see so you can have a different perspective of people that's truly pro-black. Pro-black means you caring about black people. So you can see how they truly live. Pan-African. You've seen a call for unity. So you can see how some of us, how we really are. You understand? MG2 said, ask you where you were going to be in 5 years. It was this guy, he was damn good in football. Maurice Claret played for Ohio State. I heard this question before, but he said he remembers somebody asking him. He ruined his career with alcohol in prison, right? He would have gonna be in the NFL for sure, millionaire, but he blew it. If you want to know where you're gonna be in 5 years, just look at the people you hang around. Look and see the road they're going down 5 years. You're gonna be on that same road. You ain't got to believe it. I hope don't nothing go wrong, but I'm just telling you, you want to know where you're gonna be at in 5 years? Watch the people you're around. See where they are in 5 years. If you're hanging with them tough, like CJ put in the chat, watch the company you keep. Be careful, young man. But like I said, I ain't upset. I hope you come back around. Hope you come to my channel one day and listen. And I hope you can see some of the things that we're doing. I'm not upset with you. You gonna be you, but I also want you to see a different perspective on certain things. That's it, Forecast.
All right, yeah, for sure, my brother. Blue, you got some? You want to go ahead?
Yeah, just really quick. And what he just said is very much true. It's almost like you are um, aware of what you're going into. It's like you're not like, okay, that's hell right there, but I know I can get this from out there, this from over there, this from out there. I'm gonna go in there real quick, and I'm gonna come back out. So the chances of you coming back out with no scars, no going through hell, you think that that's possible, by all means, you know what I'm saying, guard and protect yourself. But there is a good saying where you want to keep a friend that you don't admire, and then you do keep a friend that you do admire, because you get to learn from both of them, to kind of steer you, not have all your friends someone that you ain't really trying to be like, you know. But as far as uh, the different ideologies, uh, like we know, facts are facts. You know, it's really not the argument of facts. The the thing to just keep in mind is that we've been so disconnected. You know what I mean? And to continue to be open minded, you know, like even though there's some things you might disagree with, don't just, you know, just leave it at that. You know, just kind of let your mind think about some things and kind of put it together as a bigger picture, not just focus on that one thing that was said, but the conversation. So that way, you know, that one word or that one phrase is not something that just causes you to put the book down. Because at the end of the day, we all have different backgrounds, you know. I have different family members and um, different races a part of my family, you know, but I'm not walking around saying, you know, I got this percentage of this in me and this percentage, because you know what? When I walk out the door, I'm not treated differently. You know, my skin is dark, and it's just not something that is going to benefit me to run around, say this, and have this conversation when there's real things that we really need to be working on and getting done if we really want to help each other, you know. Zooming in on something like that ain't going to do nothing but really separate. For real, like you said, you know, some people will say, hey, I don't even want to deal with you. Like that, those are the small things that us as people already have issues with. It's people different, their background, whether they dress different, whether they come from a different hood, whether their slang is different. Like we both stare each other down to everything, you know. So we're already disconnected. That's just one other thing to add to it. And here on this platform, the goal is to not change how you feel and your outlook and stuff, but more so to have progressive conversations to see how we can come together to help better each other. So, for example, like you being an up and coming artist, you could perform, you know, for an opening for us. You know, I think that would be great. It would be a great way for you to have exposure, and it would be great for us as entertainment, and just, you know, to get to bring more people together. You know what I mean? That's the type of things that we should and want to do. Hopefully you think about that. I think that would be great. But peace and love to everyone. It was good. I'm glad MG2 is the OG. I'm glad he came on. I love to hear him because I understand where he's coming from. And I've always wanted to write, you know. Well, I love to write, excuse me. And I've written a children's book a couple years back, but a book, you know, just for, you know, the average person, definitely would love to do. I just know it takes time. You know, I've attempted to write a book before and it kind of just stopped because it does take time. But that's a very good suggestion. But everyone have a good night. Be safe. Uh, Try to just what's that word I'm looking for? Regenerate yourself, rejuvenate. Um, just to be a better you. It's a whole nother year about to come, you know. Oh yeah, last want to point out about Christmas. Do not stress about Christmas. You know, I really don't even want to get like. I'm glad I don't have kids right now because I probably wouldn't really be buying them anything. Don't get break the cycle. Break the cycle. You know, you don't have to go run and spend your money and be broke just to see your kids happy. You change the ideology of Christmas to them so that way they won't look at it that way. You know, you create that idea of what Christmas is to them. You know what I mean? You can say Christmas is if you did your chores all year, you get a nice couple of presents. You know, like that's Christmas. You make it what you want to, not what the world makes Christmas as, and then now you got to spend your money and be broke. No, that's moving backwards. Yeah. But anyways, peace out to everyone. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Blue, you want to say your job thing?
Oh yeah, for sure. Anyone is looking to work from home, you can text me at 804-250-1049. And always hiring, for real, for real. And this is where you can actually make your own schedule and mesh it in with whatever you can. But I'm happy to direct you to get you on with that. So definitely text me.
All right. Thank you, Blue. Any of y'all got something to say before I go on my little rant to close it out?
Oh yeah. Only thing I want to say is I'm worried about holidays because I haven't celebrated holidays since I want to say 2015. Yeah, yeah. I already know the history. You
I
know.
know that's right.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
So I don't celebrate none of them, man. Like family members still look at me weird,
right.
but hey,
Mm-hmm.
I know the history. But yeah, I ain't got nothing else to say.
Mm-hmm. We can't hear you if you're talking.
Oh, my bad. I was mute the whole time.
Yeah.
My bad. But yeah, I appreciate my brother Bakari for coming on. Ryan, my brother Ryan Silly for coming on. MG2, I appreciate you, Blue, for coming on. And this was definitely a much needed conversation, and so we had so many age groups on this conversation that I think that is important to have that kind of thing, where you have like the older generation to the younger generation and the generations in between, so I do think that's a good conversation to have, and I appreciate all of y'all for coming on. And let me say this, i am I would call myself pro-black, and to me, like, this whole system definitely needs to be destroyed. And pro black is definitely a mentality that you have to have. Now, some people have the wrong idea of it. Like, you have to be this, you have to be that. No, well, you have to be race first. That's really the only thing. Like, people are humans. We got to realize that people are humans. You can't expect perfection out of anybody. And we look at ourselves to be perfect, and we don't hold other people to those same standards, but we try to hold ourselves to that standard. So I would say I'm definitely pro-black because I want my people, my race, to be out of the situation that we're in. And that's why we definitely have to start defining stuff in all of this stuff, because it's a complicated issue. We talked about this whole race mixing and stuff before, because like you talked about Ida B. Wells and how she would probably be considered a mixed race person, but both of her parents were slaves. She was born into slavery, right? We can't ignore all of this stuff because there was something, mixed race people, mulattoes, what you calling a quadroon, like in America, if 1/8 black, that means you're black. That means like your great grandfather, if one of your great grandparents was black, that means you're black to American standards. Now it's up to us to start creating our own standards, but we got to understand, like, the whole history of and that's why it's a slippery slope, because sometimes you have mulattoes as, like, and I don't mean to call mulattoes, it's just that's the legal term, but you have people that's down for the cause, then you have people that's not, then you have people that's in the middle. You know what I'm saying? That whole stuff causes confusion, and we have to figure out a way, or to at least agree on what is black, what is not, because Obama, they call him the first black president, but he was biracial. To me, you have to have two black parents to be considered a black person. That's just to me, and that's parents, not your grandparents, not your great grandparents, But I mean, just look at how they were treated. Like, we can't ignore the fact of what happened in this in the history of America, right? Black women were seen as property. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we can't offer them protection then we can't sit here and tell them that they can do something or they can't do something if we haven't produced something for them to even be able to make that decision in the first place. And if we allow somebody to come into our house and rape our mom, our sister, our daughter, and all of that kind of stuff, then that's the consequences that come with all of those actions. But these people literally are psychopaths. They raped women, had children, and enslaved those very children. And we got to be careful about claiming them. You know how many people ran away from their own father because they were enslaved, being raped by their own father, and they were mulattoes, and their father was a white person who was a slave owner. But they had a mentality where they would enslave their own children. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely have to be careful about it. It was a story about this one woman. She was married to a black man, and she was the daughter of a slave master or whatever. And they escaped going north on the train, and she dressed, because she could pass for white. She dressed up like a white woman and she dressed up like a white boy, and they went all the way up north, riding the trains, first class, and all of that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just to escape slavery, and she could pass for white. But then you also have people like because they like to say the first there was black slave owners, but you had like the guy in South Carolina. I can't really think of his name right now, but he was the biggest slave owner in South Carolina, but he was a mulatto. His father was a slave owner, but his father accepted him as his son, and he taught him how to be a slave owner. And he hated black people because he identified as white. But then you have the people who identified as black because they hated their father because they was treated like a slave. And then you have the whole Haitian Revolution thing where the mulatto class felt like they were better than the darker skinned Haitians. And that's what ruined their whole, revolt. That's what ended up being their demise. And then as far as holding each other accountable, right? There's definitely stuff that we have to hold accountable in our communities and stuff. We have to hold each other accountable. But like I said, as a black man, until I provide or like some kind of protection, some kind of safety, some kind of something for black women, there's so much that I can say because we're not living up to our side. We're not doing our thing. We have to start holding ourselves accountable, right? Because you have people like Tommy Sotomayor, and I think that he in particular is like the anti-pro-black, if you would say, like the antithesis or antagonist to the pro-black stuff, where he tries to talk about pro-black people, but he understands exactly what racism is. He understands the system that exists, in my opinion, because I can't speak for him. But there's also people who do this stuff for views. And again, I'm not talking about him. We have to be careful about picking our leaders and who we follow. And my brother Ryan Silly is a young brother, and there's a lot to learn because at 22, like I didn't know a fraction of the stuff that I know at the age I am now. So all of that stuff comes in. As black men, we have to come back for the younger generations. That's why I respect my brother Bakari, MG2. They come back and teach the younger generations what we need to learn. You know what I'm saying? And it's up to me to teach younger brothers, what they need to learn. But as men, before we can look at women, because it's like my brother Bakari said, we picking on somebody who's defenseless because we won't step up to the person that's higher than us. Right? There's a whole system designed to be this way. That's why we have so much problems in our relationships. That's why we have so much problems in our homes. All right. That like sociopaths are created out of a lack of opportunities. Like people feel like that's the only chance that they have. You know what I'm saying? But we definitely have to get it together, and I'm glad we had this conversation. And I don't want to keep going because it's already I ain't expect to be on here too long. So I appreciate you, my brother Ryan Silly, for coming on. Appreciate you, Bakari, for coming on. Blue, MG2. I appreciate all of y'all, everybody in the chat that came through. And we definitely definitely CJ. We definitely got to get on the panel. I subscribed to my brother CJ earlier, so make sure y'all subscribe to him too. And as always, man, oh yeah, before I say that, I'm gonna come back with another show. I haven't been able to put the videos up on this channel, but I'm gonna start organizing my channel. So I'm gonna have to take a little time off because Blue mentioned the book, and I've been working on my book. So I'm trying to hit the final push for that to come out. So if I haven't put out no new videos, like give me a little bit of time. So, but I appreciate y'all for listening. And as always, man, we have got to start standing for something, or we're gonna keep falling for anything.